The more hits we play, the more hits we get. URLradio.net. Stacy Sturman.
Hey, Cameron Ali made it in.
We'll blame the weather, right?
Yeah.
Real quickly, you're not the only one, Cam. Here are some closures for today. No school at these places, okay? Grenora is right. Can you guess another one?
Wing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ned Rose Elementary, Trenton Schools, Towner and Granville Schools, Montessori School in Minot, Bishop Ryan Catholic School, Bottineau or Newburgh United Public Schools, Rolette Public School, Watford City Public School, South Prairie School, Kenmare School, Alexander School, Bottineau and Newburgh United School, Medicine Lake, Bainville, Dunseith, Alexander, Our Redeemer Christian School, Powers Lake Public Schools, Divide County Schools in Crosby, Velva, Bainville, Montana. Rolla buses and school will be running 2 hours late. Ray school bus is 2 hours late. No school in Grenora. Mandaree School will have 2 hours late start. Buses will run where possible. Tioga is starting 2 hours late. Bowbells starting 2 hours late. Gackle Streeter 2 hours late. Wing 2 hours late. You're so close. Steel and Tappan 2 hours late. Minot Child Support Office is actually closed for this morning. Minot Housing Authority offices are closed today. Minot Public Schools closed today. Stanley is closed. And Rolla is closed all day today as well.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot worse this morning. Although, when I noticed it was raining last night, I'm like, tomorrow's going to suck.
It's going to be super icy. I didn't think it was too bad, though.
Then I overslept, and I was like, dang.
You're like, the ice is the least of my worries today.
Right?
Ice, baby. Yeah, no, I didn't think it was bad coming in at all today. But
No,
it's 34,
not,
so it's warm.
it's not terrible. They're actually pretty nice out, but it's still not pleasant.
I said, and I don't want to do a dance or anything, but I was talking to a lot of people on Saturday. And they're like, oh, this is going to suck. We're going to start getting snow tonight and da-da-da-da-da, and we're going to get 6 inches, and we're going to have to snow blow. I said, we're not getting nothing. We're not getting nothing.
It'll melt away right away.
I hope so. I just want winter to be done with. I'm just crabby about it.
Yeah.
I'm at that time of the year where I'm like, you know how they say, like, crap or get off the pot? Same thing with winter. Just be done.
I've never heard anybody say crap or get off the pot.
That they usually say.
I'm just saying.
Get off the pot, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
can blame that fat rodent, that groundhog.
Puxatawny.
Yeah.
What's he know?
A lot, obviously.
How come we leave the fate of our weather up to a rodent?
That's my thing. You know, we're human beings.
Where did that even start?
We have this enormous, powerful mind, yet we let stupid things like that run our world.
Well, even not our mind. Our minds can sometimes be crazy, but the technology we have way better than the technology that Puxatawny has.
I know, and then there's this top hat committee that's like, hey, I'm going to dust this off. It's February. Top hats.
They also have a tradition now of animals picking the Super Bowl winners.
Yeah, they're usually right.
Yeah, they are.
Like that octopus that was picking the World Cup.
Yeah. Picked all the World Cup games?
Yeah,
Pretty close.
Never knew octopi were into soccer.
It just makes sense. Could you imagine if an octopus played soccer? Oh, where am I going to kick it? Where am I going to kick it?
Wicked goalie.
Oh, my God. Amazing.
But, you know what I always say?
I don't. Usually you say people are stupid and there is no God.
Right, I say that a lot.
Yeah, but besides that?
What do you do if you're 1,500 pounds?
I don't know.
You play goalie. Right?
I guess. You put an elephant in front of the goal.
How do you get past that?
You don't. Just screwed it.
Speaking of God, I started watching that miniseries, The Bible.
What channel is that on?
It's on History.
Okay.
It takes it from the beginning, like from the all the way up until God rested, and then Noah and all that. All through that, right? And so right now we're like in Old Testament God, where
he's
rocks. Just a prick.
It is hilarious. Yeah. Old Testament God is so badass.
Like the story of
just the best
of Lot.
Yeah.
Like Abraham's nephew.
Uh-huh.
Him and his wife are like, no, absolutely. Even after Abraham saves them from those thieves or whatever when they were captured.
Yes.
You know, and then Lot's wife's like, no. And this is how women ruin the world, right? Because, like, Lot's wife's like, no.
Started way back then.
No, Lot, we're still going to the city. That's where progress is.
Yeah.
And Abraham's like, dude, a whole bunch of people just died to save you. You know, this is God's will. And Lot's like, nah, you know, like my woman here, she looks good in them Wranglers, so she wants to go to the city.
We'll go to the city,
We're
man.
gonna go to the city. So they go to the city, and Abraham's hanging out there looking at it, chatting with God.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, oh man, God's like, that place is evil over there. He's like, I'm just gonna get rid of it all. And Abraham's like, all right, man, seriously, if there's like, you know, 25 good people, God's like, all right, if there's 25 good people.
Right.
And then Abraham thinks about it a little. He's like, maybe 10. Is there like 10 good people? God's like, and God's being pretty cool right now. He's like,
God's like, okay, I'll negotiate.
He's like, all right, 10. And then he's like, all right, maybe 5, right? And so next thing you know, cut to scene, they're inside Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yep.
Right? Everything's insane. And there's 2 angels.
Yes.
Right? Who aren't just angels. These guys are like wicked, like
they're almost like defenders of the universe.
Sword handlers.
Yeah,
Like,
they're pretty sweet.
insane.
They're like the Michael the Archangel fighter.
Right.
You know?
So,
yeah.
And then they got shield, but they're wearing robes, so nobody knows that, right?
Of course, yeah.
And they come up to Lot, and they're like, help us. And Lot's thinking about it, and he's like, all right, screw it. Get into my house, right?
Yeah.
So they're in there, and they're being all quiet. Then all of a sudden, somebody drops a stick, makes noise. So everybody starts rushing his home.
Yeah.
Lot comes out. He's like, you stay the way from my house. Right?
Yes.
So then, you know, they come out. All of a sudden, the angels come out, right? Because they're being hidden.
Yes.
I think that was Lot's proving that he was a good soul.
Right.
They shed their robes, and they got these just wicked
snap.
armors, and 2 swords come out, right?
Yeah.
And they look at Lot.
They're
and
all like Kill Bill Volume 2.
right, exactly.
Right?
So
Yeah.
all these people are
It's
hanging
pretty
out there
sweet,
trying
yeah.
to kill these 2 angels, and all of a sudden their eyes like turn to blood and melt.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, ah. So the angels are like, run, run. As they're running, you know, people are starting to fight them. The angels just whip out swords, start doing flips and cutting everybody
they're
open.
hacking people open.
And they're running and they're leaving, and they're like, don't look back at the city of sin.
Go
No matter what you do, don't look back. So they're running. What does Lot's insane wife do?
I think I'm going to go back into the city of sin.
She turns around. The one thing she's asked not to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
By
home.
obviously angels who are kicking some ass and taking some names. You're not going to heed them of all the people.
Yeah, and she's like, screw it. I'm not going to listen again.
Oh.
Turns around and turns into salt.
Yeah, good for her.
You know? And the best part was in the show, the angels, like, one of them was a black guy.
Yeah.
And the other one was Chinese.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and this is how you know that God is not racist.
God sees no color.
Right? He's like, hey.
I love Old Testament. And
me too.
There's only one
Best
thing I
book
like
ever
as
written.
much. Exodus. Love Exodus.
I love it. I love, you know, I'm like, my favorite story is the story of Job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Jiminy Christmas. Poor
Right.
Job.
Right? Because everybody's like, God is so great, right? I'm like, actually, I think God's pretty freaking arrogant.
God's a prick.
Look at what he did to this guy to prove his
poor
arrogance.
Job.
You know,
Yeah.
he's like, no, he's still gonna like me. Cover him in boils. Don't worry, he'll still like me. Kill his entire family.
And you know what? He did.
Yeah.
But then look at the wonderful riches that he was able to accumulate then after.
Or telling Abraham first, you know, exile your son and mistress.
Yeah.
Right? Send them away. Don't worry, I'll take care of them. They'll be fine.
I got
know,
your back.
I know you always wanted to have a son, but now I gave you one with Sarah, right?
Yeah.
So get rid of the other 2.
So get rid of those ladies.
Send them away. We don't need them
You
anymore.
don't need her to know. Yeah.
So he's like, all right, fine. Feels bad. Gives his son a couple chickens. Says, sorry, I love you. Right?
But you got to go.
Yeah. A few years later, Abraham's like being told by God again, hey, take your one son that's left
Yeah.
and kill
Go
him.
kill him.
I'm like, what the hell?
telling you. For people that think church is boring.
No.
You gotta read the Bible.
Believe me, if I could just...
That's fun stuff.
I was going to say, if I could follow a religion that was just all Old Testament, I would, but then I'd be Jewish.
Yes, you would.
You know, I'd be a Gentile. But it's a good series. Like, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, it's fun.
But is
to
it one of
watch.
those things where now if I tune in, I'm not going to know what's going on? You know what I mean?
Right, because you've never heard any of the
Never
stories.
heard any of the
Bible.
stories.
Yeah. You have to start it from the beginning.
But the average person who wasn't raised Catholic or dad is a deacon, can they just tune in? Well, you know what's the funny thing is?
I could.
If they didn't know, oh yeah, but you actually know a lot of the Bible.
Yeah, I do.
You're weird. You're the most... You've read the Bible more than most Catholic people, and you're atheist, but...
I think that's what makes me a better atheist, right?
It makes you an informed atheist, yes.
Yeah, it's one thing for somebody to say, "Oh, you don't believe. Well, you don't know this." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
actually, I do.
Yeah.
I do, but I just can't." I mean, if that happened in front of you today,
Yeah.
you know, if you take some of those stories
Yes.
today and work them into like today's world,
That'd
like
be a great movie.
Use lingo from today, right? Like, let's talk. We'll use Job, for example,
'Kay.
right? Like, if we say that story happened to the Target general manager,
Okay, yes.
right? And, like, sales were doing really great. His life was good. He bought a new house. And then all of a sudden, his entire staff was just killed off,
Yeah.
right? But he was still told, you're still, believe in the Target,
Right.
code of honor. And then next thing you know, like, he comes to work the next day, and everybody that comes to shop there ends up in boils. You know what I mean? Like, all of his, like, the next day, all of his product, like, the diapers are being
Right.
eaten by locusts. You say this story to somebody today, and they're going to be like, if I was you, dude, I would quit Target. I don't even know why you even work at Target anymore, But when you change it and you go back to the stories like God was in charge of it, no, man, always keep the faith. Essentially,
I sort of feel like that's...
stay at Target, right?
I am living the modern day version of that here at URL.
I know, I was going to say, what's that thing growing on your face?
Oh, gosh.
But no, it's a good series. And then the same, or no, it was on AMC, or is it AMC? Yeah, it might have been
AMC or History Channel?
No, it was History. Because right after that, then, they had a new series called Vikings. And that
had to rock, too.
That's pretty good, yeah. I mean, last night was just full of swords and blood.
So much more action-packed than the actual Vikings.
Yeah, right.
The Minnesota Vikings of current day.
Yeah, they don't.
Those guys actually won a battle or two.
Yeah, it started off just intense. It was awesome, Yeah, it was a good TV night. But yeah, if you're into the Bible, even if you're not a believer, it's still a fun story.
Yeah. Oh, it's very interesting. Yeah.
But once we get into New Testament, that's where I get bored.
I know. Once they start with all the preaching
and love and crap.
Yeah, that's tough. Parables and such.
Yeah.
I know. I want sword swinging angels.
Yeah, man. Like at that point, I was like,
angels.
I hope there is an afterlife, and I hope I'm chosen to be one of them. You know,
that's not gonna happen.
Well, I don't see why not.
Well, because you don't believe.
I'll fill out my resume. Yeah, but if I don't believe in there is such a thing.
I'm going to start working out so that I could possibly... I want to be a kick-ass female sword-wielding angel. I just want to come down, rock it.
No. That's not going to happen.
It could happen.
This is God we're talking about.
That's all right.
Women don't have the rights.
Oh, they do now.
Really?
Yes, they do.
Okay, we'll see when Catherine becomes Pope.
Hey, there was a African American and a Chinese angel that was a sword wielding. They've never been Pope.
No.
Huh?
There was no Catholic Church at the time. At that point, they could have been rabbi. You know?
They could have been. Well, that'd be interesting.
No, so last
Chinese rabbi.
Last night's series ended with Moses parting the Red Sea.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, totally happened.
Hey,
but it's cool the way they did it.
I can't discredit it.
Because
How do you know?
Because has
Stranger
it ever
things have
happened
happened.
since?
Hey, a dude just fell into a sinkhole to his death in his bedroom while the rest of the house is sleeping.
Yeah.
Crazy crap happens all the time.
I get that.
Have you ever read the Time Life books, Mysteries of the Unix?
But this stuff hasn't, like, these miracles and all this crazy crap like that hasn't happened for like 5,000 years.
They don't need it to happen anymore.
Yeah, but prove it, for God's sakes. Then you probably won't have people like me.
No. If you read the Bible, you've heard God
You're
says,
supposed to believe. I know.
I'm not going to prove anything. I don't need to prove anything to you.
Oh, except in the story of Job when he had to prove something to the devil.
Well, yeah, we have to prove something to him. Yeah. But apparently he doesn't owe us anything.
Still, he's a prick now.
Satan
he went from nice to prick
Jesus
again.
Jesus all the time.
He's
like, I don't need to show you
him
anything.
I'd arm wrestle that guy.
Satan or Jesus?
Jesus.
Or God. Which one
to be honest, I'm pretty sure Satan.
Which one are you more angry at?
Satan's probably not really a bad guy.
I think he got a bad rap.
Yeah, honestly.
And now he's just sort of living it out. You know?
I don't think he's that bad of a person. Or whatever he is.
I think it's like everybody needs a checks and balances system.
He was VP, right?
Yeah.
And he got turned down for promotion.
Yes.
So he was upset.
Yeah. So he says, you know what? I'm just going to take this company.
I'm going to start. It's kind of like Apple and Windows.
Yeah.
Apple and Microsoft. He's essentially Microsoft. And in some... Or no,
Microsoft is Satan. I swear to God, sometimes it's true.
Right? And so, I mean, they're still doing okay.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. There's... If you like, for example, like I said, I don't just pick one religion to study. I study them all. And... a cool one, Zoroastrianism. You should look into that.
What is the core belief of Zoroastrianism?
It's about like eagles and nature and stuff. It's cool. It's a
lot like Native American.
It's an ancient religion. As a matter of fact, Kurdish people prior to the influence of Islam in that region were Zoroasters, is what they were. But yeah, if you look into it, it's cool. But for example, I did do some research on the Church of Satan, not because I love Slayer, but I did just to see what it's all about. And to be honest, it's not that different from any other religion's beliefs.
Did you see I tagged you in that video about how Beyonce and Jay-Z worship the devil?
Yeah. Which I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, if they do, whatever,
I support it.
Just because you like to dance to her music doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to become a member of the Satanic Church.
My favorite is Christian death metal.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that the best thing in the world?
That whole death metal thing just scares me.
I mean, death metal's insane as it is.
Yeah.
Remember when it first came out? It was all pentagrams and goats and stuff on the covers.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Christian genre comes out, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" I remember I bought a Christian reggae CD.
Of course you did.
And the group was called Christofari. And they had this one song, and it was actually really good. And it's like, me singing Alleluia, giving up thanks up, or something like, praise the Lord in the sanctuary.
That would make anybody want to be a Christian. I love reggae music.
If you can find that song, it was good. Christofari.
Yeah, I just remember once I heard Stryper, I said, I'm in.
Yeah, right?
Go God.
Yeah, they were.
Stryper,
or they
honestly,
are still great.
I believe in you. Do you trust in me? It was great stuff.
Yeah, that was Christian butt rock, though.
Actually, you know what? Here's the funny thing is a lot of Christian rock now also makes our top 40 charts, but you don't know they're the Christian rock artists because if you don't follow that group,
MXPX.
It's not so bad. Yeah, MXPX. It's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, there was a punk band called Goaty Hook that I used to like.
Yeah.
And they're a Christian punk band. I mean, just a lot of the times they have, God in one of their songs. The rest of it, it's good music. I mean, if they're good musicians, it doesn't mean they can't write a good song because they believe in the Lord. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, I could write a Christian song.
That'd be interesting.
I do have vast knowledge of Christianity,
I would like
religion
to hear
as a whole. I could do it.
Well, you don't need to write about the Bible. You just need to write about undying love.
That's
the key to a good Christian rock, Christian reggae, anything song. You just need to write about like undying love and trust. And because the key is then people think you're talking about a chick,
right?
But you're not. You're talking about God.
Did you ever see that South Park episode?
Yeah.
Where Cartman broke off from the band with the other boys because they weren't Moop or whatever, and they weren't making it. So Cartman started. He's like, "I'm going Christian, man."
I vaguely remember that.
Starts a band called Faith Plus One, and basically he took all these hit songs about chicks.
Yeah. And made him
and changed the word Jesus to baby.
Yes.
You know, and then it's fun.